Serenity Funeral Home. We are a family-owned and operated funeral home where we offer complete personalized funeral services, leading our community in funeral and cremation services. Make an appointment for your pre-need and at-need arrangements by calling us at 702-647-0123. Once again, that number is 702-647-0123. Serenity Funeral Home, caring for your loved ones as if they're our own.
Chico Sticks, Pickles, Jolly Ranchers, Mary Jane's, Pop Rocks, Lemon Heads. Should I go on? Bitter Honey, Freeze Cups, Candy Cigarettes. Listen, how about you make your way down to the modern-day Candy Lady and see all of this and more? Satisfy that sweet tooth Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Sight and Sound Candy and more. Follow us on IG at Sight and Sound Candy and on Facebook at Sight and Sound Candy. We are located at 1000 North Martin Luther King on the corner of Washington and MLK. Give us a call, 702-648-4444. Again, that number, 702-648-4444. Thank you.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Yo, what up? This is Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk, man. I'm your host, Goose Thomas, man. I'm a little tired, bro. I'm just don't mind me today. I got my Adabisi popping right now with my beanie, man. I'm all over the place. But we gonna talk some sports this afternoon, man. Another Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific Coast time right here, Gorilla Cross Radio. Download the Gorilla Cross app on your phone right now and get us live, man, every Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, man. We got Sherm the Worm in the building. What's good, homeboy?
Man, I'm not tired today, although I just finished this.
I'm going to live vicariously through you then, brother.
I just finished this CrossFit boot camp that I started at the beginning of the year.
Really?
And today was the last day.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been going hard in the paint. I turned 48 a couple weeks ago.
Beautiful thing, baby. Beautiful thing.
I'm still trying to be 40 and fine.
That's
if
man.
you will.
Hey man. Hey man. 48's the new 28.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I say I'm 24 times 2.
There it is.
I'm on my second 24.
There it is, man. Shout out to Dre Bailey, man. Shout out to Bill Logan in the building, man. Shout out to our sponsors, man, Serenity Funeral Home and Sight and Sound Candy and more, man. Where we have you still wow, that's tough.
He pushed the wrong button.
Wowza. And sponsors. Wow. All right. Sight and Sound has a.
I was wiping the dust.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And just so happens the womp comes
the
up.
womp. All right.
I wouldn't do that to the candy store.
No, we have a vendor event going on at Sight and Sound Candy and More, as we do every Saturday down at Sight and Sound Candy and More, 1000 North Martin Luther King Boulevard, man. Get down there and do some networking, man. And also, man, of course, with Serenity Funeral Home, man, one of the few Black-owned funeral homes right here in the Las Vegas Valley. I say Valley. What was I about to say? Valley. Man, it's terrible. I'm tired. I truly am, man. But I'm not gonna make that an excuse.
You
man.
Here for the fans,
I'm here,
to our
man.
listeners.
I'm
You
here,
put it
bro.
all on the line.
I'm
right?
here, bro.
Yeah.
We are here, man. So, man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Vinny Gelato, man, my guy.
Man, he's the better gelato.
That's my man.
That's the guy.
That's my man's, man. Shout out Coach Blue in the building, man. We appreciate everybody for chiming in with us, man, this Saturday afternoon, man. Got a lot in sports to talk about.
Real quick, too.
Yeah.
Coach Blue, Winton Blue.
My guy, man.
Keep tuned to the LV Gridiron page as
man.
well, too, because you are on the list for next year's Hall of Fame inductees.
Yes,
so
indeed,
I just
man.
want to let you know that.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes tuned as we
I
go to the final voting New Year's.
I think as a flag football veteran here in the Las Vegas Valley for the last 18 years. Some of the better flag football that I've seen was before I was able to play it. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about legendary players in the sport of competitive flag football, the Blues brothers have to be mentioned, and that is Wynton and Anthony Blue. Mm-hmm. Both have to be mentioned when you talk about this sport as competitive as it is, and I don't think people really understand just how competitive flag football is around this country and around the world. But when you mention it, those two guys have to be on the sheet. Man, when you mention it, for sure.
When you think about it now, the LV gridiron, we got LV gridiron, Arizona gridiron, California gridiron, Texas gridiron. Yep. Flag football is about to be an Olympic sport in 2028. Yep. And some of the best talent comes out of the city. Some of the top 50 ranked teams in the country, I think there's 4 of them right here in Vegas, including our 2 teams.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it is highly competitive. Yep. I mean, when you talk about people who, you've seen Martavius Bryant. He plays in our flag football league.
Yes, he does.
Gabe Davis from the Buffalo Bills played flag football. That's how he got discovered. So it is big sport. Yep. And so, just a shout out to it.
Absolutely,
of course, I'm going to give a plug to it because I'm the owner as well.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. But look, man, we got a lot on the table to discuss today, man. Spring training started today. Y'all already know how I feel about the sport of baseball, man. Everybody doesn't feel the way I feel. He meant to do that. But I really don't care.
It's too soon. Baseball
I really don't care.
Baseball don't kick off until
baseball kicks
4th of
off
July.
when spring training starts. As soon as you smell the grass, baseball is here. But yeah, man, we got spring training going on for the next 2 months, of course. Leading into that, the World Baseball Classic starts here in a few weeks, man. Now that even if you're not a fan of the sport, the World Baseball Classic is must-see TV because it's not called like Major League Baseball. They actually let them talk mess to each other. Like it's a thing. And if you've never seen the World Baseball Classic played, I'm talking about they pack out stadiums that don't normally get packed out with their regular teams. These stadiums are packed out.
So while we're there, then what do you think about the rule change of the pitcher's 15-second clock?
I love
now?
it. Speeds the game up.
Absolutely. They say now baseball games should finish within 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
3. No, it shouldn't go past 3.
I agree.
And it's not just for the pitcher; it's for the batters.
Yes,
batters
absolutely,
as well, too.
Absolutely, because they like to take
the first one to get hit with that yesterday.
Yeah,
so they have 8 seconds to be in the batter's box.
Come on, man. It don't take you that long. Why are you adjusting your gloves and your helmet? Why are you doing that?
After every bat?
300 years to finally do that.
I don't understand.
Because baseball is...
Because they've had a clock technology for a long time.
A long time.
I mean, we've had clocks.
We've had clocks.
Yes. Baseball is that count up and down.
Baseball is antiquated. They're the last to change anything because
they think it's just so pure. They want it to remain pure.
Right.
No.
Well, you lose the viewership because of a lot of things.
And that's why the average age is 56.
That's right. Think about that. The average fan is 56 years old for baseball.
Yeah.
You're losing the newer, nuanced
Not
crowd.
attracting any young guys.
Right.
Now, you got a lot of young studs, especially young minority studs, and especially young Black American studs that are now making, their presence known in the game, man. And it's a really, really exciting thing to see based on where we've been, with the RBI program and all of that good stuff. And now you're starting to see more Black Americans emerge, studs, bro. And I mean, we can go down the list, but again, we just said we were going to mention baseball and move on.
We needed it, though, because I think what was it in the World Series? There was not an American black,
not one.
A Black American-born player in the World Series.
Not one.
But I looked at that, and that was an alarming stat.
That's very alarming, bro.
But it also made me aware of our Black heritage all over the world, right?
Sure.
Because Black isn't just indigenous to Africa and America.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So all the Islanders and stuff, they're
Absolutely.
also black as well. They
Yes, they
both
are.
just stopped at a different spot.
Absolutely. They just speak Spanish.
Yes.
They are all African. No question about it, man. But yeah, man, moving on from that, man, little NFL news. What we got in the NFL, Sean?
Man,
What we got popping, man?
Free agency
Yes, sir.
doesn't officially start until March 7th, but right now, that's all the news right now because Derek Carr was released on the 15th.
Sure.
So he's out interviewing with different teams. We got Aaron Rodgers, who just emerged from his darknesses
Oh my God, bro.
retreat.
Look, man.
What? Tell me what you think about A-Rod, man.
I mean, first of all, who cares? That's number one in regards to your hiatus or your hibernation, because that's what bears do. Bears go into hibernations and they hide in the caves. That's what bears do. Are you a bear? What are you, man?
Cocaine bear?
See, I wasn't going there, man. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't even thinking about that, man.
That movie seemed like it's gonna be so terrible.
Cocaine
Well,
bear, bro.
You
You want a
it.
quick review?
I was gonna say, you saw it.
I saw it with Mo and Mel and Natalie from Girl Chat Sports.
Yeah, shout
he
out Girl
posted
Chat
it.
Sports,
Last
man.
night. Yeah, we
Girl
went
Chat
last
in the
night.
building. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, they showed a lot.
Really?
There's a lot of blood and gore in that.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was just gonna be all funny. And
I
it was
thought it was
funny,
too.
like even the
But
blood and stuff was funny. But
Wow.
yeah, he was tearing them up, like heads coming off and everything.
wow.
Really?
Yeah,
It was good. It's good enough to watch.
it was good. It
Yeah.
was
Wow.
Cocaine bear.
Cocaine bear. Now to even
good. And
come
it's
up.
based on a true story.
Really?
Wow. To even come up with that title
That's what I was saying.
and say, yeah, this is what we're going to put out to the masses and call it this took guts
Some
in and of
stones.
itself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow. Now I gotta see this now, man. I have to. Have you, sticking with the NBA, have you gotten a chance to
NFL,
see, or the NFL? I'm sorry. Well, moving to the NBA now, because of course that's Lamar Jackson. Let's talk Lamar Jackson really quick before we get away from the NFL. I hate pundits. I really, really do. Because everyone thinks they know exactly what it is they're talking about, and they know absolutely nothing. Lamar Jackson has done more for the Baltimore Ravens over the past 3 seasons. The Baltimore Ravens don't even deserve what Lamar Jackson has done for them. They don't even deserve it as a franchise.
He won MVP of the league one year
Yes.
They don't even deserve it
on a rookie contract.
on a rookie deal.
There's no QB with his statistical prowess that has been treated this way. In fact,
Unreal.
in the history of the NFL, because if for y'all who don't know, or maybe you've been with Aaron Rodgers in his darkness retreat, Lamar Jackson is on his contract is up, and he represents himself. He does not have an agent. He never did.
Right.
And they are considering putting him on a franchise tag for historical purposes. There's only been 3 quarterbacks that's ever played on a franchise tag. Drew Brees back in 2005. Kirk Cousins, who got 2 years of it, and Dak Prescott, who ended up getting his long-term contract.
Right. Did Dak actually play? I don't even think he played the year. They probably gave it to him and then
yes.
negotiated the deal before.
It was like 2 days later. he got the
Yeah,
deal.
come on,
Yes.
man. Come on, man.
So it's unprecedented and uncharted waters that we are looking at, especially for an MVP.
Yes.
We're not talking about some sub-alternate in the
We're
Pro
not-
Bowl.
We're not talking about Kirk Cousins.
Right. We're talking about the league MVP that they're considering this with. And they offered him $130 million guaranteed, which is a lot of money to you or I. But that's less than what Kyler Murray got, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. Now, I get it. Pat Mahomes is special.
That's Pat.
He's a one of
We're not
one.
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray,
No.
Deshaun Watson.
Didn't play
And
2
so
years.
what's happening is Baltimore is saying, well, Deshaun Watson contract was an outlier. They well overpaid. And I get that. But you're well undervaluing him. You're not even giving him $200 million
Right.
fully guaranteed.
Sure.
Deshaun Watson got
230, I think it was.
230.
230?
They offered him 130.
Come on, fam.
You're not even getting close enough to say, all right, let me consider it.
Wow.
So
And like it or not, the Browns up the ante on quarterbacks now.
that's
With that contract they gave him, like now better quarterbacks deserve more.
Yeah, you can say what you wish in regards to it. It doesn't matter, bro. It is what it is. The precedent has been set.
when you live in a neighborhood, you buy a home, and there's a home that sold for much more. Well, that's the appraised value
Yes,
now.
yes.
That's the comps that they go off of. So you know what? Deshaun Watson set the benchmark. Here's what we got. They're not even approaching it though. It'll be different if they said, okay, we'll give you 215. They said 130.
130.
They won't
That's
even
low
get
ball.
up to 200.
That's low ball. So if it's a 130 guarantee, the deal may not even be worth 200.
No,
It may not even be a
was-
$200 million deal.
It was two.
Right, like
it was
right at-
230 total.
Total, but
And 130 guaranteed?
So they're
But it's the
trying to
guaranteed
take.
money.
They're trying to take over
way.
$100 million off.
No way. That is disrespectful. It is an insult to what Lamar Jackson has meant to that franchise. He has Mark Andrews as a main target. All of his running backs tore their ACLs in the same preseason. He went in with nothing.
they traded the number one receiver, Hollywood Brown.
Who we all know the reason why. We saw that in Arizona. Can't get open. You got to scheme him open. He can't get separation. These are the wideouts he's working with. Right. Mark Andrews is his number one target, and that's his tight end. And how much can you overuse one guy that everybody's keying on?
I mean, they went out and got Sammy Watkins after he had
Come
been
on,
released by
man.
4 different teams.
Sammy Watkins is 85 years old in football years. What are we doing?
Right.
Sammy Watkins ain't Clemson Sammy Watkins no more.
What's going to happen? They're going to give him the exclusive franchise tag, which allows him to negotiate a trade with other teams. And then those teams have to compensate Baltimore with 2 first-round draft picks.
Sure.
Now, you look at some of the teams that are quarterback starved, the Raiders, the Jets. The Jets have 2 first-round draft picks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If I were the Jets, I would do that in a heartbeat.
No question.
And pay the man.
Yep.
But Miami, you see this whole situation with Tua. Tua now, because of his concussions, is now
Serious,
taking
bro.
jujitsu
It's
to learn how to not
to
get
learn
concussed.
how to fall. No, this is a thing.
Oh man!
To learn how to fall.
Wow.
If I were Miami, I would do that deal. You're right there as well.
Wow.
You know what I love about Lamar though? He sat out most of last season and the playoffs.
Because
At least
purpose.
the last 5 games. He sat out the last 5
He
games.
wasn't that hurt.
no.
And
But why
I
come-
love it
Yeah.
because why am I going to play on this bad contract that you won't give me an extension for? Because we said at the beginning of the season, before the season started, he should sit out. He came in, balled like crazy, showed everyone, this is who I am. Peace.
Yeah. I'm going to holler at y'all.
They came to him and said, you know what? We want to pay you, but play one more season. Let's see. And he's like, well, what is it that I didn't show you these past 4 seasons?
Get it.
You know what? All right, I'll go ahead and play. He played, and they still didn't want to give him you know what? Let's us think about it again. What have you not seen so
Can I give
far?
y'all something else?
No doubt in my mind he would have played in the playoffs if he had a contract.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Even let's just say he was hurt. Let's just say he was hurt because everybody's hurt. There's a difference between being hurt and being injured, right? Let's just say he was. I think he was hurt enough to sit out, but he could have played if circumstances were like you said. If they were a playoff team, he'd have gutted that out. That still doesn't negate the fact of what he's done for you on a rookie deal. It doesn't negate the fact of what he's done for you with one target. One.
And I wonder too, because he was the last big pick that Ozzie Newsome did before he retired. And I wonder if Ozzie Newsome was still the GM there.
Would this even be a thing?
Right.
Quick stat. Lamar Jackson is better in the pocket than Josh Allen.
Right.
Statistically.
Statistically, yes, he is.
Now, Josh Allen is one guy that I was like, I don't know yet. But then as time went on, I was like, sold. You got me.
And see, Josh
What
Allen.
happened, what happened to Josh Allen just this past season?
Yeah. Now, I was sold on Josh
in
Allen
his
from the
home,
beginning.
on his home field.
But
Regression is what happened.
But
to Josh
we don't
Allen.
question Josh Allen.
Never
We don't
have.
question him.
Never have. That regression thing was a topic for not even half a day, and no one's talked about it since. No one said a word about Josh Allen and the way he took a dump on his own home field since then.
There is more buzz around Trevor Lawrence than there is
and his
Lamar
progression,
Jackson.
Absolutely. And I like Trevor Lawrence. We're Florida State fans, so
Yeah,
we
so
saw him in action.
Right.
Several
We
times.
have been pained by him.
Pained.
But Lamar Jackson is the MVP. There's
Yes.
more buzz about Justin
Yes.
Herbert than
Yes.
there is Lamar Jackson.
Who's done what? What's Justin Herbert done?
Nothing at all.
Any Charger fans want to call in? Heather Ready? Want to call in and tell us what Justin Herbert's done that's so special?
They went to overtime against the Raiders 2 years ago and almost made the playoffs.
That's what
Wow.
it is. That's what it is.
And he had a good game. This is telling me Baltimore does not want Lamar Jackson at all because you lowball him, but you want to get as much for him as you can. That's why you keep doing this, and that's all they want. They don't want him anymore.
Mm-hmm. But this is my thing, and not to cut you off, Sean, but this is my thing. Be honest with the man. At best, trade me and try to get something for me. Don't leave me hanging in this bubble and not wanting anybody else to get me just because you don't want to pay me.
It's kind of like being in a relationship. You'll hear women talk about this. This isn't a man thing so much, but
I like that. I like that.
I like you. We cool. We good. But I don't want to put a ring on that. I don't want to make a long-term commitment. But I'm here. I got you. They don't want to put a ring on that with Lamar Jackson. Lamar just saying, show me a commitment.
Right.
And they're not doing that. So it's like, okay, cut me loose. Let me go then.
Wow. It really sucks, man. And we're talking about it because we have to talk about it, but we know the business of professional sports. We know what the business side of things are. But that doesn't take away from us being totally flabbergasted about this. It doesn't take it away.
So let's do some quick roundtable predictions then. So what do you think is going to happen with Lamar Jackson?
I really can't say at this point. Truthfully, what I would like to happen is for him to get traded for 2 first-round picks and whatever else the Jets got and send him on over to the Jets, and they'll break the Brinks truck for him. That's simple.
That's my prediction.
It'll be dead presidents all over again when the truck blew up.
So
money everywhere.
My prediction is that he ends up with the Jets. What about Aaron Rodgers?
I think he stays in Green Bay twice.
I agree.
Nuts to say.
Because
but
they just up ticket prices, right? They up ticket prices. You're not going to up ticket prices and then get rid of Aaron Rodgers and bring in Jordan Love and up the ticket prices. So Aaron Rodgers is coming back there.
Can't do it.
What about Derek Carr?
The talk is New Orleans for him. But honestly, I think our guy's better. I think our Florida State guy's better than
Jameis?
Yes, I do.
I don't think they.
I do.
I don't think they like him
I think he's
enough
better.
to stay
I think
there.
Jameis Winston's better. I do.
So I think Derek Carr is going to end up in Carolina.
Oh, that's a good spot.
With Frank Wright.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That'll be a good spot for him. But I think Jameis Winston's better than Derek Carr. I don't care who disagrees with me. I just think he is.
He's the most disrespected 5,000 yard passer ever.
No question about it. And I think people really don't look into that particular season with enough clear mind and look at they don't see everything else. They see the 30 picks though, right? But they don't see how the 30 picks happened, right? Then they big up the receiver because he's a 9-time 1,000-yard receiver, and they don't understand that he's the reason for half of those picks.
That's right. Yeah.
They'll never admit it because they didn't watch the game.
Right.
They'll never admit it.
And one last one.
They won't.
Gelato, as far as your Indianapolis Colts, y'all going to end up getting – I got a bold prediction, but my prediction is they're going to end up with Trey Lance.
Really?
Trade. Yep.
Well, we like doing business with the Colts.
Yep. That is my bold prediction. Trey Lance will be.
We get back some first rounders.
Nah, we'll get back a second.
We're not trading
One
Trey
first
Lance.
rounder.
We're not trading Trey
first
Lance
rounder?
after everything we gave up for him. There's no way.
You're never going to get back what you traded for him.
yeah,
Anyway.
We're not getting back, but you have to give him a chance. They haven't even given him a chance yet.
He's not
There's
going to.
no way.
He's not going to win in the locker room.
You don't know
I
that
like a
because
camp battle. I
Brock
like
Purdy
a
still
camp
hasn't even
battle.
had surgery. He
He
might not
has-
be back at the beginning of the season. They need a quarter. They're not going to trade. They're not going to get rid of Jimmy G and trade a rookie contract quarterback. Neither of them are leaving. That Brock Purdy and Trey Lance will be there guaranteed next year. There's no way they trade either of them
I believe
on rookie contracts.
I believe that Brock Purdy will be given. Now he's not going to start week 1, but I believe down the road at some point Trey Lance is going to be in Indy.
I think it's a camp battle, bro.
I don't think it's going to be
really
a camp
do.
battle either because Brock Purdy won't be healthy for camp. I think Trey Lance will be there unless they sign a veteran like a Matt Ryan, or I'll say us.
So this
Don't say Matt
surgery
Ryan.
is it geared down toward the Tommy John road?
They're saying no to the Tommy John. It's half of that, but yet they haven't even had the surgery to open them up to see because it's so much swelling, which would say
He
Tommy
was
John.
supposed to have surgery last week, and there was
Right.
But the
Now they
MRI
pushed
was
it.
done though, right? The MRI had
The MRI is
right?
inconclusive. They said they have to get in and see. But everything that I'm hearing is from George Kittle to Debo to Trent Williams. They all like Brock, and that's
Of course.
and so if I'm Trey Lance,
They all like Jimmy G too, though.
Yeah.
true.
They're
Yeah.
going to play who. They're going to play for who.
They're gonna like who's under center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as soon as Trey Lance throws a bad pass, bad series, bad game, Brock Purdy's coming in.
So you don't think it'll be the opposite?
No.
If they because we looking at 6 months right now. If the surgery were to happen today in relation to the start of camp.
He's gonna be out until mid-September.
Ugh.
Sometimes you can be better and not liked. That's what I see in Niner camp.
True story. Two things can be correct at the same time. Mm-hmm. You're right about that. Wow. Well, I don't know.
If it wasn't rookie contracts, though, I think they. But the thing is, you got to pay a backup quarterback now when you have two really good quarterbacks. So let's say Brock Purdy isn't as good as he was last year because we didn't see him face any challenges.
We did not.
So let's see him after a 2-game losing streak to see how he reacts to that.
Sure.
He might not be the quarterback of the future. So you might have to be like, no, okay, Trey Lance, we were right in the first place.
Right.
With both of them being on rookie contracts, you have a lot of time to figure out and decide through practice, through game time. You have a lot of time to decide. So I think it wouldn't be smart to trade either of them.
But if you start Trey Lance and eventually bench him for Brock Purdy, you get nothing on
You're
the
going to
trade
get
market.
nothing. You're going to get
So
nothing.
you have to trade an asset before it's discovered you don't
Yeah.
like it. Like what?
But no one
what
knows if he's
Baltimore
an
do.
asset either. So other teams are probably
The,
looking at
the
that
only
too. We
thing
don't know.
that's telling us that he's an asset is where he was drafted.
Right.
That's the only thing that's telling us that.
Right. And I think we all are fans of him. I mean, in our group chat,
Yeah, I like him.
We
I
were
like
excited.
the kid. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like him.
I like him a lot. I think he's better than Jimmy G or Brock Purdy.
Right.
But there's certain, and it was when he got sacked in the Chicago game by Mike McGlinchey was the tackle.
Yeah.
And instead of helping him up,
That guy.
he ran right past him. And I was like, oh,
That guy.
that's a bad look.
And the nerve of him.
Right, right.
The
But
nerve
so-
of Mike McGlinchey to give up a sack and run past anybody. The nerve.
So I looked at that. I was like, the locker room don't really like this kid.
Wow.
So that was my bold prediction.
So where does Jimmy G
That's
go?
what I was going to ask.
Oh,
That
he's
was my
gone.
next question.
He's gone. He's
No,
out.
no, no.
Where
but
does he-
you put all these
yeah, he's not
quarterbacks
under contract
somewhere.
anymore. He's done. But where does he go? Think he comes here?
No, I think he's going to end up in Houston as a bridge quarterback for whoever they draft first.
Oh,
That's good.
okay. Give
So
him
who
at least one
comes to
familiar
Vegas?
face over there with D'Amico, right?
Who comes to Vegas? We got rid of the car.
And Jimmy G could be Vegas as well with Josh McDaniels there. But those will be the two places because there's no quarterback here in Vegas. And that
Wow.
might be a better landing spot if both offers. If I'm Jimmy G and both offers on the table, send me to Vegas for
Well,
one.
at least I got
he's-
some. I got a run game. I got
and he
decent
is porn
wideouts.
star Jimmy.
But Raider
So-
fans are going to feel like they just got Derek Carr again.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
If
But
not worse,
Josh
'cause he can't throw
McDaniels
like
has
Carr.
somebody
Right.
who feels that he can run the offense. But if I'm Jimmy G, I'm the starter. If I go to Houston and they draft Bryce Young,
Yeah,
well,
I'm out. I'm out. He has to know that.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to go through that again.
There-
Which he don't have much choice. He's not that good.
Right. You know how they generally let rookie quarterbacks sit behind vets? Bryce Young will be the starter day one. and this is not because we know some folks that like to get on us when we talk about Jimmy G and Trey Bailey, Bill Logan, man, we love y'all.
And they're not here today.
And they're not here today, but they're listening.
If we had a what were you thinking?
Yeah, we'd be it every week. But y'all got to understand something. We watch the snaps that this dude take every week.
Well,
and I think that's the difference.
The
We
fact
watching
remains,
this, bro.
we all said you can almost put any quarterback in our system and duplicate what Jimmy G did.
Absolutely.
So what did we do? We took the last pick in the NFL draft
Yes,
as a
the very
rookie
last pick.
and duplicated
And
what
duplicated
Jimmy
it.
G did.
Plus more.
Plus more.
Duplicated it.
Which shows where Jimmy G's at.
Right.
I wish him well, though.
Yeah, we do.
I wish him well. I hope he does tremendous things.
If you come in Vegas, give us a call. Come on the show. We would love to have
We'd
you.
love to have you. I'm sure Bill and Dre would too. They'd love
And
to
they would
have
throw
you.
you guys under the bus right in front of him.
Wouldn't mean anything to me.
Right.
Look at the tape, run back all the shows.
I have no
Wouldn't
problem
mean
with
anything
my,
to me.
I have no problem with my convictions or my takes.
Whatsoever is what it is, man.
So Tink says Stidham is the quarterback next year for the Raiders.
Look, Stidham played well with the Raiders, but don't
He did.
take-
He
don't-
had the monster game against us.
But don't confuse it. Stidham was also in New England and didn't look like anything.
Shout out Tink, man.
So,
Shout out Tink Cooper, man.
amazing
My
flag
guy.
football
My
player
guy
too.
right there.
Amazing
Amazing
football
athlete,
player.
period.
Yeah,
He's an amazing athlete, man.
Yeah, one of the
Appreciate
best
you, Tink.
city have seen.
No doubt, man.
But Stidham, don't get overhyped because you see a small sample size from a player that's been cast around
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't even that great when he was at Auburn. So I don't think that's the long-term solution for us here in Vegas.
Interesting.
Speaking of long-term solutions, NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and teams have revamped themselves. So let's talk about that, Goose.
Yeah, man.
Because one of those teams is your team with an entirely new facelift.
Sure.
Let's talk about some of the acquisitions you guys had and what you think about them.
I like the Beasley look, man, adding shooting. But my favorite is Vanderbilt.
Really?
And a lot of people may not even notice it, but defensively, the dude's a monster, bro. I like the fact that the Lakers got younger. The other night, for whatever it's worth, LeBron James played little in the third quarter, had 13 points, and the Lakers won going away by 20. Now, Steph Curry's not on the floor, understood, but we was struggling against the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry
And
not on the court
When's the last
with
time
another
we-
guy.
When's
that
the
we
last time
had.
we've seen Lakers win a game and just be up and stay up? I haven't seen that
Not-
in 2 years.
I haven't seen that.
and that used to
this
happen all the
year for
time. But yeah,
sure. And I watched damn near every dribble.
yeah.
This year it's been a little because I just had so much going on, so I haven't been able to watch as much basketball. But
That was the first time I seen
That
a
was the
game
first
where
time
they
I've
just,
seen that
They were up.
this
They stayed
season.
up. It wasn't in question at all.
nope.
And yeah,
LeBron James had 13 points and sat out the majority of the fourth quarter. That was like
I thought he was
wow.
stat padding.
Hey man, that's what they said.
That's
what I
another
heard.
topic. Yeah.
That's what I heard. But you know,
Mo Bamba slept on too as a trade because
Absolutely.
that dude can hit some threes.
absolutely, and he's a great rim protector as well.
Yeah.
So
And he showed that against Golden State. And on the page, a lot of people saying, well, it's Golden State without Steph Curry. And I get that. But y'all same team just beat the Pelicans before the All-Star break
Yeah.
with all their cast of characters. You can't include Zion because Zion's never there.
He's never there.
But you just blew out the Pelicans as well.
Yep.
So the fact remains is
And Lakers just beat them without LeBron
Right.
2 weeks before.
Right.
Sure.
So it shows because I think LeBron James had the highest plus minus in the NBA, meaning that when he's on the floor, they score X amount of points.
Yep.
And when he's off the floor,
they're down.
yeah, they lose by X amount
It
of
is what
points.
it is.
His was the biggest differential in the NBA.
Yep.
Well, now he's off the floor and y'all are still winning.
Yep.
People underestimate that when it comes to players and performance,
Yep.
because no one player can carry a team, no matter what you think from. And we're going to talk about old school and new school, but
Yes, we are.
there's never been a team where their star players off the court
Right.
and they lose or drop, and they still won the championship.
Right. Right.
So-
especially with that significant of a margin, man.
Right.
Nah.
But the team that you guys have put together now, I think the stats showed you shot 33 pointers and made 16 of them.
Usually
Early
when
in
we
the
shoot
season-
30, we make 6.
Right. There was a play where Malik Beasley had the ball in his hand in the corner, and LeBron came over to set the pick. And they didn't guard LeBron. They stayed with Beasley
Yeah.
because he's that
He's
lethal
that
of
lethal.
a shooter.
Yep.
So how do you see your Lakers finishing the season? You only got about 20 games left.
Well, I mean, you got to look at the way number 6 to 13 is stacked, right? So in the Western Conference, 6 through 13 is separated by 4.5 games, I believe it is, right now at this juncture. That's a 6-game win streak, barring anybody, in between that taking L's or whatever the case may be.
Lakers.
A 6-game win streak. We have an 8 this year. An 8-game win streak, right? Or we won 8 out of 10, I should say. You win 6, you right back in the thick of it. From 13.
And right now,
So,
Lakers
we'll
only
see.
game and a half out of the play-in at number 10.
Come on, man.
And they're only three and a half out of 6. So, I mean,
There you go.
It's very doable.
When I say 4.5, it's 3.5.
You need to take every game as a playoff game. Though.
Absolutely.
You can't
At this
look
point,
at
for
any
sure.
games and say we can lose this
And
one.
you said what, a 6 to 8 game streak? So what's your next 8 games or so?
We on the road for 3 in a row. Memphis being 1.
Y'all played
It's
them-
a semi-difficult 3-game road trip. I do know that. I know
We have
Memphis
Dallas
is one
tomorrow.
Of those. Dallas.
On ABC.
That's not easy.
At Memphis on Tuesday.
And there's one
And
more.
then OKC on Wednesday.
Okay.
That's
And then we're
winnable.
back home Friday, Minnesota, Golden State Sunday, with or without Steph. He might be back. Tuesday versus Minnesota. Then Friday versus Toronto. Next Sunday versus New York. And then we go at New Orleans, at Houston. And then back at home, Dallas, Orlando, the Phoenix No Benches, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Chicago.
It's favorable. It's
So
favorable schedule.
what I hear, I hear a
Favorable.
couple games against OKC. You should win those, right?
Should.
Couple
Should.
games
Mind
against
you, we
Minnesota.
lost to them last time at home, but go ahead.
But
Twice.
you can't consider yourself a playoff team and be losing to
got
teams
it.
who are
Exactly.
trying to tank.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Couple games against them. I heard Orlando. I heard Houston, Minnesota. A couple
Yep.
games.
Yep.
And even the Dallas games and Memphis, right? Those are going to be tough games, but those are going to
Winnable.
be your first
Winnable.
and second round opponents anyway.
Absolutely.
So
Better go win them.
right.
Better go win them.
So you're in a position. Dame Adams said something
out
that we were
Dame Adams,
talking
man.
about before the show.
Yep.
Why did the Lakers wait to this point when everyone knew that Russ was not a fit, and you had these 2 first-round draft picks? Now I believe, and we said this before
Want
the
to know
show.
the truth?
Go ahead.
Rob Pelinka outsmarted himself. He wanted to make himself seem right, but in the end, he had to call himself stupid, and this was the way to do it. He wasn't going to outright say, hey, man, I messed up, dog. I totally messed this up. You trade him to a team that you know was going to buy him out, get rid of him, bring in new pieces to actually get better. When a defense can sag off of your point guard, there's no way the offense can run.
Right.
The offense can't run. There's no spacing.
I can't think of a point guard in history where you would sag
Where
off
you
them.
just sagged off of them. Even Rajon Rondo can hit a couple of jumpers every now and again. But to completely sag off a dude and pay him $47 million at the same time?
Right.
I'm cool, G. Clippers, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
And what was the stats on that last night? That was a great game last night against the Clippers and with the Clippers and the Kings. 175, 174.
De'Aaron Fox is a stud. I told y'all that when they drafted
Draft
him.
day, yeah.
And he said, I don't give a
you,
F who's
man.
over there
Told
with
you,
the
man.
Clippers.
God, I told y'all,
They
man.
asked him how it felt to beat them. I don't give a F who's over there. God. I think he had 14 points, 12 assists. So he did really good. Oh, and those 7 turnovers that kind of take away from some of those 12 assists.
Yeah. There you go. But all they gonna talk about it are the 14 and 12, though.
Yeah.
How do you feel about some of the other trades that went down during the trade deadline? Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant.
The Durant one surprised me because I still hold this true, and I'm not really concerned what anyone says. I don't think the Suns got better with that. I think they actually got worse because you trade away 2 of the key pieces that got you anywhere to begin with. When Mikal Bridges got to Phoenix, because mind you, the Sixers actually drafted Mikal Bridges originally because his mom works in the HR department. She's head of the HR department for the Sixers, right?
Excited draft day.
Elated. My son's coming. My son's going to be here with me.
And they traded
traded him on draft day.
Wow. She posted and everything.
Brother. So I know just how good Mikal Bridges is because, again, I am a North Carolina basketball fan, and I watched them torch us in the NCAA tournament. I know how good the dude was before he got to the league. So when Phoenix got him, I said, yo, this is the beginning of something for them. Then another, my Tar Heel, Cam Johnson.
Who can shoot.
Who can play, period. Was a man already when he got to the league because he spent all 4 years in Chapel Hill. He develops even more, and he becomes a person you actually rely on. He's just not some dude coming off the bench. You're relying on this guy for decent minutes every night. You trade them both away for an aging superstar? Now, nobody's a bigger Kevin Durant guy than me. But I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world that they ever could have done. Now you take away Torrey Craig, who was decent off of your bench, insert him into the starting lineup. Who's coming off your bench? Cameron Payne? Who else? We ran off the names the other week, right?
Ty Warren,
Torrey Craig,
TJ Warren,
TJ Warren, Terrence Ross,
And
which was a huge pickup for them.
that was big for them. Terrence Ross is good, but he's aging as well.
Landry Shamet.
Yep.
I mean, they don't have a bench at all.
It's not there.
Kevin Durant's been hurt a lot the last
Kevin
2 years.
Durant didn't even play when he was supposed to debut.
Chris Paul has
Paul
been
isn't-
hurt for 5 years.
Devin Booker still out, right?
Devin Booker hurt still.
And he's been hurt a lot too the past 2 years. I think the new owner probably doesn't even watch basketball.
He can't.
And he saw Kevin Durant's name out there, and he's like, let me
go
own
ahead
this
and
team.
let me do it.
And then the next day, let me go and get a big name.
But
Which was smart because Phoenix fans think this is
Oh,
taking them
yeah.
over the top.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because they don't really watch basketball either.
No, they don't. I know 2 Phoenix fans that may really watch basketball. And they're both really good friends of mine. I know they're Phoenix fans because they've been Phoenix fans since we were small children.
And these were panic trades because they played Sherm's team 2 years ago in the finals.
Sure.
And then they've struggled since then.
Yeah.
And I think this was a panic
Regression.
trade instead of just, okay, let's keep moving. Let's
right.
keep moving
That's the thing,
forward.
because they had the best record in the NBA last year.
Yeah.
Right?
But 160, didn't they?
Yeah, but then got bounced in the semifinals against Dallas. Without a Kyrie.
Sure. And somebody just mentioned, Tink just mentioned Kevin Love going to Miami.
I was
Maybe even bigger for Miami because it allows spacing. One, you bring another rebounder in to help Bam Adebayo. Now, Bam Adebayo can step out, shoot that 15-footer straight away that he likes, and it's interchangeable at that point.
They need something more though. Last night, watching them against my Bucks, Giannis
they
went
struggled
out,
last night. I don't know what that was.
Giannis went
They
out in the
struggled.
first 6 minutes of the game,
and
we
it got
both
worse.
raced them.
It got worse.
It got worse.
It got worse for him. After that, I was like, wow, this is kinda weird.
they're missing something a little more than Kevin Love.
But what can you pinpoint that? What is it?
Everyone's older and hurt.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they can
that's-
shoot.
that's one thing.
Butler's been banged up since
Sure.
the bubble.
Sure. Because he went all out. He played his
Yeah.
ass
Everyone's been
off
hurt.
in
You
that-
got
in that
Kyle
bubble.
Lowry,
He did.
who's 95. I
Sure.
mean, you got a lot of old people. That's why I
Tyler
don't
Hero
think.
can shoot.
Yeah, but you're not relying
Strauss
on
can
Tyler.
shoot,
You're not relying on either
but
one of those.
it's-
But
guys.
they
can't-
overpaid those white shooters,
Right.
which
I like
to me
Strauss too. I do.
they just I don't know. I mean they're just in a weird spot. They don't have a superstar. They have a lot of good players, but a lot of aging players, a lot of hurt players.
You know, I'm gonna be a homer here, but I think it's valued. One of the sneaky great pickups this trade season was Jay Crowder going to my Bucks.
Now the thing is, I saw him last night and he looked good running up and down the court. Long term, is he gonna be in shape to endure that playoff run? Now he's been out of basketball.
Because
All
Phoenix
year.
sat him on the couch.
Yes.
And he said that in the post game interview.
Yeah.
He said, "Look, you know, this is a team that wants to win, and
Yeah.
that's all they have." And he threw shade at Phoenix. I mean, I understand. He was
it's
like,
natural.
This team didn't just want to get to the playoffs or just want to get to the finals. Their aspects are winning the finals. And he said, so this is a mature team. So I know I got to get in shape because they run.
Yeah.
So he knows that he's not in shape right now, but man, he can hit that corner and elbow three.
Sure.
He can play defense. He can sub in Giannis. He's gonna play our PJ Tucker role that we had when we won the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you there, especially when they go small. Yeah, Jay will be able to fill that up. He's a pro, man, and this has been his role, his 3-and-D role, basically since he got to the league from Marquette. So that's his. He'll be able to knock that out, man. He's a pro.
Yeah.
Let me see who else. That's pretty much it as far as the splashes are concerned. Again, I was really confused by that Kevin Durant trade. A lot of people seem to believe, even non-Phoenix fans seem to believe that took the Phoenix Suns completely over the top, not realizing that they lost 2 of their top 5 guys for it. And to me, what Mikal Bridges brings you is irreplaceable. Like he came in as a perimeter defender, but now the dude's added scoring. You can't just replace that by bringing in an aging superstar. As good as Kevin Durant is, and I'll tell anybody that this dude is the purest scorer I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. From an efficiency standpoint, there's nobody better. Being able to score on all 3 levels, I don't think there's anybody better. But to get rid of a dude that brought you perimeter defense and became a scorer for you at a young age like that,
You consolidated the 2 players into one, essentially. But if this one is injured, you don't have the fallback of a Cam or a Mikal.
yeah. And I just don't. I get it. To put butts in seats, fine. Okay. Let that be your reason. But don't look at this and just flat out say you got better. Don't lie to yourself like that.
I feel that they looked like they were descending. Finals, first the best record.
Sure.
And now they're not. So they feel like they're descending. So they have to shake something up and try to strive to be better.
Absolutely. Dame, I fully agree, bro. Mikal Bridges is finna take the hell off. I honestly, and I said this when it happened, the Brooklyn Nets got better. They got better. I believe they got better
It
with
looks
that
like
trade.
the Brooklyn Nets team before they got
Before
Kyrie and Kevin
the
Durant.
big
When they had
came.
Kenny
Yes.
Atkinson, they
Yes.
were a good team then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And they're fun to watch.
Yes. All young dudes out there. How many dudes they got on their roster that's 30?
I don't even know if Dinwiddie is 30.
I don't think
He's not
Dinwiddie.
30 yet.
I was gonna say he might be
Probably like
28.
27, 28.
Come on, he's the veteran on the team at 27, 28.
Ben Simmons' knees are 55.
Yes, yes. If they can find a dummy to
Seth
take him,
Curry might be around there, but he comes off the bench.
yeah, he come off the bench. He know what he there for.
And real quick, this game right here, it was 54-31 at halftime.
Florida
Miami.
State got 8 wins. Are you serious? I ain't been paying attention to Florida State basketball this year.
We started
54
off like
to
5-2.
31. This
Yeah,
game was over at
they was blowing
halftime.
them out.
When I walked in, we were getting blown out.
Wow.
And I just looked up, and Miami had just taken the lead back.
Oh, nice. Oh, my.
Up
Oh,
and down.
God.
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
But we are really terrible this year, and it's just crazy because we started off hot this season.
Wow. Wow.
That was travel. Oh,
Ooh-wee.
And they call a foul on that.
ACC basketball.
How much time do we
man.
have remaining,
We got
Quan?
not 10 minutes. Here.
10 minutes.
9 minutes, yeah.
So let's get into one, if not two subjects.
Sure.
One, I want to talk about the JJ Redick / Bob Cousy / Dominique Wilkins old school versus new school debate. We see it on the page all the time, how basketball was and what it is.
Yeah.
For y'all who don't know, you can Google search JJ Redick versus Dominique Wilkins. And essentially, JJ Redick, when he was on First Take against Mad Dog, said that Bob Cousy is not a top 5 point guard. Of all time. And Mad Dogs talked about how old school was more physical, and JJ Redick said this. He said,
Oh, God.
3 for the win.
Three for the win. Florida State.
Wow.
Something we needed.
And Miami's going to make noise in the NCAA tournament,
Yeah, they
too.
are.
That's crazy.
That's too crazy, but
on the road. On the road, too. On the road.
I mean, we own Miami in every sport.
Florida State's not even going to the NIT. They don't have any postseason hopes whatsoever outside of the ACC tournament. And they'll probably get bounced in the first round.
Yeah,
there.
I know.
But wow, that's big. That's a crazy win right there, though.
We needed
Against
it.
a top 15 squad.
Yeah.
Wow. Books won today. Go ahead, sir.
So JJ Redick basically said, I'm tired of hearing that the old school was more physical.
Yeah.
He said, now, yes, they were allowed to fight more, and the penalties weren't as strenuous. But he said that they had harder fouls without penalties as far as flagrants and being ejected and suspended a couple of games. But he said the physicality is still intense now. And he mentioned Larry Bird versus Steph Curry. And he said that Steph Curry, try guarding Steph Curry running through all these different screens throughout the baseline. You're going to be pretty banged up by the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you guarded Larry Bird ran a lot of ISO plays where you didn't have to have that physicality. He said, so the physicality is relative. Teams like the Pistons play physical, the Knicks play physical, but the entire league was not like that.
No.
What are your thoughts on the state of basketball then and now?
Well, I wasn't around in 1960, but it's a perfect time to bring up the Bill Russell documentary. For those that haven't watched that 2-part series, I recommend it highly. It's a great doc. And you kind of you see some of that old footage, and of course we watched all the as much old footage as we could possibly get a hold of. Number one, Bill Russell, when he came into the league, kind of took the league by storm with his athleticism, right? Like, dude went out at the University of San Francisco for the track team and just started high jumping just on GP. Like, he was a freak athlete of that particular time. Bro, we got 55 Bill Russells in the league right now that are just as freakish athletically. 55 of them. We can name 55 of them right here at this desk.
You know who reminds me of Bill Russell? And this is people gonna hate it, and it's hot take. Hassan Whiteside.
Okay.
But what does
little slower? Maybe I don't think he was as fast as Bill up and down the court. But from a body type standpoint,
From
maybe?
a body type.
Okay, I'll rock with you.
And
there.
how dominant is Hassan Whiteside?
Not at all. Little to none.
He's not in the league.
He's not. I don't even think he's in the league anymore.
That's my point.
It's crazy when he signed it. Remember he signed that 4-year, $100 million deal, and it was like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody even talks about Hassan Whiteside plays in Taiwan. He's in Taiwan with Dwight Howard.
So they said like Bob Cousy, top 5 point guard of all time.
No.
Because he
I wouldn't
invented
do that.
the dribble behind your back to your other hand from your right hand to your
Because he
left.
kind of innovated basketball a little bit. Well, I think let's throw this comparison out there. Who would you take? Bob Cousy or John Stockton?
Stockton.
About you, Quan? As he eats his
Stockton.
chocolate chip cookies, they're so good,
I
bro.
bet,
The
man.
Chips
Little
Ahoy
milk
are
too,
so
little
good.
milk dip.
This man got a whole pack of Chips Ahoy over here going in, dog.
I just did this CrossFit. I can't
Can't
dare
do
to
it.
touch those.
I'm not fooling with it. Today was my cheat day, but I had one chocolate chip cookie today.
It's my cheat
doing
day,
good,
day
bro.
today too. And
Doing good. I had one chocolate
I'm
chip
going
cookie
all
earlier
in.
today. I'm not gonna do it.
I have 7.
If y'all didn't know, I know y'all
literally
can't
got
see.
the whole thing of chocolate chip cookies over here,
so for
bro.
y'all who are not in studio, Quan's always behind the cameras
Eating something.
pizza, Subway sandwich, Roberto's,
God,
cakes,
this guy, man.
while we're on the air.
Yes.
just munching,
This guy. Wow.
and we're over here salivating while he's eating.
Unbelievable stuff, man.
But I drink a gallon of water today.
yeah.
But
good. That's good.
I drank a Diet Pepsi
That's
with it
good.
though.
That's good. So we just gave two what I would believe equal comparisons, right? John Stockton, even with his 2 records that are completely unbreakable in my estimation, I don't think they'll ever be touched.
They are.
Because one, nobody's going to play as long, and nobody's going to play 16 seasons worth of 82 games. Nobody's going to do that.
That's correct.
Not a soul will do it, and I'll mark it right now. Nobody's going to do that. We just compared John Stockton and Bob Cousy and unanimously picked John Stockton, who never won a title ever in his life. Bob Cousy got 7, 8. How many ever he won with
rings? They're the only thing that matter though, right?
John Stockton's the better point guard. Like I don't think we're going to sit here and just argue that. Now, are people? God bless you. Are people saying putting Bob Cousy in that conversation because he has a college award named after him?
No, because of his rings.
Okay, because I can tell you exactly who puts him into that conversation, and his name is Mad Dog Russo.
Yes.
He is the biggest Bob Cousy advocate you'll ever lay eyes on in your life.
He's the biggest 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yes. If you don't know anything about the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you don't know anything about sports according to him.
I mean, the greatest college football teams all resided in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
According to him.
Yes. The greatest NFL teams.
Yes.
We're talking about the Detroit Lions
who with Dick LeBeau playing safety.
Yeah.
Those were the guys. According to him.
The Cleveland Browns, the teams that can't win Super Bowls now were the greatest teams of all time.
I say all that to say this, man. Y'all consider y'all sources, man, before y'all go running with this dumb information. Consider y'all sources, man. There's no way Bob Cousy, right now, how tall was Bob Cousy? 6'2", maybe?
I don't
Can
think
only
he was that
dribble with
big.
one hand.
And
if you stuck him in today's NBA, he'd get killed.
If you stuck him in today's high school,
he'd get killed. Can we please understand that?
Could you imagine, like for like, can you imagine Bob Cousy and Mac McGlone going one-on-one against each other?
Family.
Can you imagine Bob Cousy and Austin Reeves? I'm talking about people who look alike.
Brother, we ain't even mentioning, he's not even, Mac McClung not even in he just got called up because he won the slam dunk contest.
Exactly.
My godson just got called up because he won the slam dunk contest.
Or just
Bob Cousy ain't standing in front of him. That's Mac McCall. He's a G leaguer.
I think people mistake what they did for the game with how good they would be now.
No.
Because what they did for the game, obviously, like anybody who played basketball in the 40s and 50s influenced the people in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
So we wouldn't have anyone today if it wasn't for those guys back then.
No doubt.
But that's the confusion there. Yeah, they were great for their time. They did great for the league.
Yes.
Their name is huge. Their name could have awards for them
Bob
and all that.
Cousy,
That's fine.
It has an award named after
But if
him.
you grabbed him and put him in today's game, I
No.
mean, people are too athletic now. They've drank all the hormones in the milk to grow.
It's not gonna happen.
So fast forward to a little later. Let's take the 80s now. So Larry Bird. Now,
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Larry Bird. We had a poll out
Gigantic fan of Larry Bird.
recently on who would you rather have take the greatest shot. Larry Bird to me
Larry
was the
legend.
greatest competitor
Hit from
in
French
NBA
Lick.
history.
No doubt.
Right? But JJ Redick said, although I think Larry Bird was a top 5 shooter, he wasn't a top 5 3-point
Well, he
shooter.
wasn't. The most he's made in a season was 80.
Well, even percentage-wise, he's 37, which is great. But the NBA, and this is why when people say, you'll hear Skip Bayless saying, well, this player's only shooting 32%. He can't shoot threes. Well, the ones that y'all thought were great shooters, like you take a Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller and LeBron's career three-point average is around the same.
And Reggie Miller is considered one of the greatest of all time. He had the record.
Right.
Like
So,
he literally had the record.
if
for
you
threes
take
made.
Larry Bird's career average of 37, I mean, there's about 8 to 10 players who
Right
shoot
now.
above 40.
Right now. In the
So
league.
JJ Redick was saying players just shoot better overall than they did back then.
And I don't think it's a lie. It's not a lie. The numbers, since y'all so analytic, look at the numbers. You don't even have to be analytic to just do a numbers comparison. It's not taking nothing away from Larry Bird and what he did. Like you just mentioned, he's one of the, he's one of the top 2, if not the top competitor ever to grace this league.
Yeah.
Like nobody wanted to guard this dude, and when they did, they found out why they didn't want to guard him in the first place.
Right.
Because he would tell you what he'd do it, and you couldn't stop it.
And he would talk trash.
That's
to
how
you
good he was,
all
bro.
the way down.
Come on, man. Now, if there is anybody that I would feel comfortable putting from the 80s in today's NBA, give it to Larry right now. They ain't nothing but Luka. They ain't nothing but Luka Doncic. That's all it is.
And the funny thing about it, because you can take listen. Let me say this: if you are a great player from any era, especially the 70s and on, you can play in any of these eras. You take the players today, they would play and ball out and dominate. And I think that's what Dominique Wilkins was saying. He was saying you couldn't take players today and put them in his day, which was the 80s. And I'm like, Neek,
I don't agree with that.
your style of play,
I don't agree with that.
the way you play, and you take him and LeBron, right? Because they say the 80s was so physical. I grew up watching this.
Sure.
All right? That was my heyday.
No doubt.
Dominique Wilkins drove to the basket without opposition.
No, nobody got in front of him.
Right. So it wasn't this prison ball like JJ Redick said. You weren't just getting hit with brass knuckles if you came into there were a few teams that played like that.
Yeah,
the Pistons,
not
the
the league
Knicks.
overall, though.
But not the league overall.
We're talking about even before expansion and after. Because if you're looking at expansion, the Heat came in, what, 89?
89.
Magic around that same time,
Yeah, I
maybe
think
a year or two later.
Yep.
And that was the league at its completeness, correct?
No,
Right.
they expanded more.
Then you look at.
Then there was the Charlotte, Toronto.
yeah.
Miami and Charlotte, and then Minnesota and Orlando.
Right. So the league was pretty much complete. But if you look at those last teams, what have they done outside of Miami that we mentioned? Nothing. So the league was pretty much complete at that point. Well, you had those same freakish athletes, right? Now you look at somebody like a Zion Williamson. He ain't nothing but Dominique Wilkins, right?
That's
Dominique
right.
Wilkins, right?
Right. But 50 pounds heavier.
50 pounds heavier and far stronger.
That's my point.
Come
because
on, y'all.
they didn't stop Karl Malone.
No.
They didn't stop Dominique Wilkins.
No.
You morph those two players into a LeBron James. or a Zion Williamson. Here's another thing too. Somebody was debating me on this and talking about how they were bigger back then, and they mentioned the word Kevin Willis. And y'all remember Kevin Willis was a big menacing, right?
Yoked.
Do you realize that Kevin Willis and Giannis are the same exact height and weight? But we don't look at Giannis as this big, swole.
Right.
We see that he's cut up.
Right.
But Kevin Willis was the biggest player in the NBA when he played.
Him, David Robinson.
Yeah. Giannis is that same size, but he don't play that center position.
No.
He can handle the
He
ball.
can handle the rock. Open floor.
Yes.
Y'all, stop it. Christopher Mad Dog Russo, stop it. Cut the crap, bro. Get over it. It's not happening.
There's no level of athleticism in any sport that has not evolved.
Yes.
You think
evolves,
players
bro.
from the 60s and 70s think they're faster than Usain Bolt now?
No, please don't. Please don't do that.
Right? There's
I wish we can measure everything off of how we look at track and field. Because track and field, there's only one thing, and it's the time clock, man.
Yes.
It's one thing that you can measure, the time clock. And if we look at Carl Lewis, who nobody's going to argue how legendary Carl Lewis is, right? And what he did for the sport. But it's this dude named Usain Bolt that if you line him up and look at fastest time to fastest time, we all know a tenth of a second is blowing somebody out of the water.
At this point, Carl Lewis's fastest times in his events wouldn't even be top 10, almost
Right
top
now.
20 right now.
Right now.
You could put Ben Johnson on steroids up to
Right now.
Usain Bolt,
And it
he's
wouldn't
gonna
work.
lose.
And yes,
Wouldn't work.
That's correct.
Come on, y'all,
Guys,
man.
the evolution of
Please.
man has made what these athletes are today.
Yep. Ah, man.
Appreciate greatness. That's at the end. Everyone should appreciate greatness instead of trying to tear it down.
But you
Stop
also have
comparing
to respect greatness, and that's
No
the
doubt.
problem with a lot of younger athletes,
Sure.
musicians.
Sure.
They don't
That's a good point.
respect
Yeah.
the fact that you would not be here if it wasn't for these people doing what they do.
And to that point, I don't think JJ was trying to disrespect.
Not at all.
I think the fact that these people were saying that you can put these dudes next to us and it'll be the same thing. That's them disrespecting the current guys.
Yeah, right. And he was defending.
That's
that.
all he was doing. That's all he was doing, man. I don't agree with everything JJ Redick say, but in that regard, dude was right. Anyway, man, another Saturday, man. We appreciate y'all for chiming in, man. Again, man, Quan59 on the boards once again, man. Gorilla Cross Radio. Download the Gorilla Cross app right now to your phone or tablet, man, and get us every single Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 5 p.m. on the East, man. We're here for you with all your sports news, man. We got a lot of great things coming down the pipe, man. A lot of great guests that we still got lined up. Man, y'all stay tuned, man. Sherm the Worm in the building, man. I appreciate you, homeboy.
Go get yourself some rest too. I can tell
Man,
you ain't even shaved in 3 days.
Look, well, I'm keeping the beard. The beard is here. I'm about to go get it lined up right now, man. My guy Ramar, man, finna hook me up. So we appreciate everybody for chiming in, man.
Ramar
Shout out-
Johnson?
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out Dre Bailey, man. Shout out Bill Logan, man. And look again, man, if you scared, better go to church.
But churches these days
Oh,
cannot
oh my God.
compare
Oh
to
my
the
God.
60s.
Oh my God. Oh my God.